A question that is often asked is, how can I become more psychic? Another question I often hear being asked is, how can I see ghosts? Or how can I see UFOs? Many of us are interested in the paranormal, and would really love to participate and deepen our understanding in this area, but we don't know how to proceed. It is a very difficult subject, because unless you are able to experience strange events yourself, you have to take it for granted that paranormal activity is real. You are essentially acting on faith, relying on video evidence and the stories being told by others. While it is the case that there is incredibly good evidence out there, and that most of us tell ourselves that we know without question that paranormal activity is real, there is also an underlying doubt that haunts those that pursue this subject. Unless they have experienced something directly themselves, and many have, there can always creep in the small bit of doubt that makes this subject very difficult for the average person. Even those that have experienced paranormal phenomena can begin to question what they believe and what they have experienced. Over time, our memories seem so far away, seemingly so fragile. How can we not begin to question what we saw one time in the past, and never again? In my website, I usually write about the paranormal and personal improvement. I try to create articles that I think will help the average person develop a greater awareness so that they are able to expand their personal possibilities. One of the key concepts that I expound on is the power of beliefs. As a paranormal investigator, or just an aficionado on the subject, you probably already know just how important belief is. Finding proof, discovering and presenting that holy grail, that will prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that paranormal phenomena is real, is what many paranormal investigators search for. While there might be some investigators that pursue the subject for those that already believe, and for their own personal passions, many would love to find the one key bit of evidence that will prove the validity of the paranormal. Belief then is a key component to all things paranormal. What is even more interesting though, is that belief actually plays a key role in how well you are able to perceive paranormal phenomena. Indeed, this is an indispensable idea that you must fully comprehend. How do you become psychic, see ghosts, see more UFOs, etc.? Belief is the answer. Why is belief so important? It is important because belief is the one thing that controls our perceptive abilities. Belief is the focus, or perhaps it is better to say that it is the sieve, through which all perception is channeled. If you truly believe that all people are evil, then through this belief you will see all the evidence of the evil that others do. You will ignore any data that does not agree with your belief, even though that data might be very much apparent to other people around you. Beliefs strain data. They do this with all sensual data that we are exposed to. We are so used to thinking that whatever we see is complete and total reality, that it seems idiotic to many to even question what most of us consider to be normal. The fact of the matter is, though, that this reality is not quite as stable or as concrete as the status quo would like us all to believe. We experience what we consider to be consensual reality because we believe that this is what reality is. It is a shared belief by a large sum of humanity that allows this consensual reality to exist as a cohesive whole. You do not need to look very far in any direction to see great variations in perception by other human beings. Mostly we consider these individuals to be insane, and think that they are lone individuals that most likely have some kind of brain trauma or aberration. While it is the case that there are many such individuals that do indeed have some kind of biological problem, it is also the case that some of these individuals are experiencing a different reality because they hold powerful divergent beliefs, or have grown up in cultural environments that have seemingly alien conceptions. In some cultures, shamans see spirits and interact with them. In others, people believe that dreams are more real than waking life. Humans are far more perceptively flexible than the modern world realizes. The study of native cultures that have been separated from modern culture has given us great insight into how much our perceptions are ruled by our beliefs. Anthropologists studying native cultures in the Amazon and Papua New Guinea have discovered that many of these lost tribes see the world in a far different way than we do. There is a tribe in the Brazilian Amazon called the Manduraka, for example, that have a language that has no tenses, no plurals, and no words for numbers beyond 5. Another example comes from Papua New Guinea, where it was discovered, when modern man first introduced himself to some of the tribes there, that many of the natives could not see themselves in the photographs that some of the Europeans would show them. In other words, these tribes showed an incredible divergence in what they were able to perceive, because they could not see what they could not believe to be possible. That is, they could not match the patterns of their belief system into a pattern that was totally different from what they believed to be the only truth. In the same way, our belief structure affects what we perceive. If we do not have a patterning system that somehow relates to what we are interested in seeing, then we cannot see that thing, because we cannot find a perceptive pattern for it. If young people in the Mandurako tribe are taught about the modern man's conception of plurality, then they are able to conceptualize these ideas, and eventually believe them and perceive the world in a completely different way. The natives in Papua New Guinea were also able to see the images inside the object, the photograph, once they were taught how to. First they had to conceptualize the possibility, and then they had to internalize a whole new belief system, which eventually allowed them to perceive the world in a totally different way. Before they were told how to, many tribes people believed that it was impossible to see an image within paper. They would not have believed that their eyes were able to make such perceptions. In our modern age, we do not believe that we can see very far into either the ultraviolet or the infrared spectrum. If we did, then we would also believe that we could all see an aura around people, but most do not believe that this is possible, so most of us can't see an aura. Well, it is indeed the case that the human eye can perceive slightly into both the ultraviolet and the infrared spectrum. As such, those that are able to perceive in the right manner are indeed able to see auras. The body's perceptive abilities are far greater than what we currently believe they are. Studies in hypnotism and the subconscious have revealed the fact that our subconscious is able to pick up on an incredible number of things that are not perceived by us consciously. In other words, we are perceiving far more than we realize, and it seems that, either consciously or subconsciously, we are filtering out a huge amount of data. It is my belief, which I have arrived at through personal research and study, that what is filtering this data is our belief structure. If we change what we believe to be perceptively possible, we change our reality. If you wish to perceive the paranormal, then begin by realizing the fact that you are perceiving right now far more than you realize. Take the time, as often as you can, to think about the fact that you are far more perceptive than you believe you are. Contemplate what might actually be possible for you right now, that perhaps you are far more aware than you currently believe. Once you have contemplated this idea for a long time, perhaps you can begin to believe that you can see far more of the paranormal phenomena around you, if you just let yourself. You can try certain exercises that will greatly increase your perceptive capabilities. The best one to try is to pretend for 5 to 10 minutes that you can see paranormal things. The best way to do this would be to go to an area where you might expect to see ghosts, or to go to an area where UFO sightings are quite common. For example, let's say that you want to be able to see ghosts, that you are either a paranormal investigator or that you live in a house that you believe has ghosts in it. When you get a chance, take some time to be by yourself in an area where you believe there is a hotbed of paranormal activity. While you are there, pretend that you indeed can see ghosts at this moment. If you have been contemplating the idea that you are able to perceive far more than you currently give yourself credit for, you should find this exercise pretty easy. Think about the fact that you are perceiving energy with all your senses right now, that you are not letting yourself be aware of. Realize that you are far more capable than you have ever thought possible. Now at this moment for 5 to 10 minutes, believe that you can perceive the inorganic beings about you. let yourself perceive more now than you have let yourself perceive in the past. If you are not comfortable doing this exercise alone, I suggest you take a trusted individual with you. Make sure that whoever accompanies you has a very positive attitude, because their energy will actually block your ability to believe if they hold negative beliefs on this subject themselves. You want to have someone with you that shares your interests and your beliefs, and that will bring positive energy into the environment. As you do the above exercise, trust whatever intuitions and perceptions you have. Quite often people will dismiss certain perceptive data because they believe that it's a trick of the eye or a mirage, for example. All perceptions should be given credence though. A blur or an odd color seen at a glance should be taken seriously, since it is this part of the eye that holds the rod photoreceptors, and they are the ones that are able to perceive a greater range of the electromagnetic spectrum. It is your old belief system that will tell you that this is a trick or a mirage. Learn to trust these perceptions that you are now having, because they are showing you a whole new way to perceive your personal reality. If you follow this exercise and do it on a regular basis, by letting your desire to see the paranormal be your guide, you will get some amazing results. It is very difficult to overcome a lifetime of accepted beliefs, and to change these beliefs for new ones that could question what you believe to be fundamental reality. But with time, and the desire to do so, you can change these old beliefs, and you can increase your perceptive ability. These new perceptions that you will have can be quite jarring. Some might get very scared, and this fear can terminate any future perceptual expansion. Follow your own guidelines and your own methodologies, go as far as you wish to go, and realize that the only thing that is standing in the way of your expanded awareness is what you believe. Once you can make this realization yourself, that the world that you perceive is directly related to what you believe, you will have taken a giant step into a far larger world. If you are interested in seeing paranormal phenomena, and being witness to the occult world all around us, then I suggest you read my book, The Occult Experience, which is available in the Kindle store. There you will find a much more detailed explanation of the above concepts, including how to see auras, and you will discover many more methods to expand your perceptive abilities.